Paul's in Croydon. Paul, what's he done wrong?
Yeah, hi again, James, how are you? He hasn't done anything wrong per se, but I can only talk from my point of view, and it's horrible timing because I was talking to a researcher, and by the time it finished, I thought, oh no, am I an ogre? Maybe I should just put the phone down. Prince Harry, for me personally, is like collateral damage for my own personal cynicism of celebs, people who I guess are celebrities, and I guess he is now a celebrity. Now he's not a royal, if that makes sense.
Not really. No, it doesn't.
People,
I mean, he's still
for
prince.
Me it does anyway,
prince.
So that's cool.
He's a prince. I guess that's a fairly. I mean, he's not a formal member of the royal family, but let's say he is someone who's managed to achieve profile, whether through birth or career.
Whatever glow is bestowed upon him, lucky him. I just don't want to hear it anymore. After the year I've had, I think people have had. Me personally, I just can't.
Did you have just to check what it is you're saying. So when we did our when we marked Mental Health Awareness Week a moment ago with Shirley Bassey, Joanna Lumley, Charles Dance, David Beckham, Jesse Lingard, Jamie Oliver, Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, and Anne Marie, did that stick in your craw as well?
No, because
why not? They're celebrities.
Because they're offering a service. I understand that, but
they were reading out a poem. This fella's talking about his own pain.
Yeah, but his pain can be subsided slightly, although everyone's pain...
He's talked about how he achieved that.
I should finish my sentence. Everyone's pain could be... his pain can be subsided slightly, but everyone's pain is important, including his.
Yes, but he's talked about his in the hope of helping other people deal with theirs, and he's talked about overcoming his, or subsiding, which is... I don't know that that's a word in this context, but he's talked about overcoming his. Let me finish my sentence. He's talked about overcoming his, and you're complaining about other people who haven't overcome theirs.
No.
What exactly is it then, in a sentence? So I say, what's he done wrong? And you say, he talks too much about his pain, and because other people have got pain, that gets on my nerves.
I think, in a sentence, I am slightly tired of celebrities, if the word is virtue signalling, or offering
How can it be
services
virtue signalling to talk about being in an Apache helicopter in Afghanistan, being chased by the paparazzi?
Sometimes possibly innocent people, for context.
Pardon?
You say in an Apache helicopter.
Do you know what, Paul, mate?
Working.
You know that when you were waiting to come on and you thought maybe I should have hung up the phone?
Well, he did. I'm sure he did shoot people.
I think you should have trusted your instincts.
Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a heated exchange that took place on LBC between James O'Brien and a caller who accused Prince Harry of virtue signalling. We'll unpack this accusation and explore whether Harry's charitable work is truly genuine or just a performance. Join us as we delve into the complexities of public perception, royal philanthropy, and the ongoing debate about authenticity and activism. Let's get started. James O'Brien, the sharp-tongued LBC radio host, found himself embroiled in yet another heated exchange, this time with a caller who accused Prince Harry of virtue signalling. The debate kicked off when a listener phoned in to express their disdain for the Duke of Sussex's recent public statements, suggesting that Harry's actions were nothing more than a calculated attempt to appear morally superior. O'Brien, known for his no-nonsense approach and quick wit, wasted no time in challenging the caller's perspective, setting the stage for a fiery discussion that would captivate his audience and shine a spotlight on the complexities of public perception and royal responsibility. Prince Harry's virtue signalling. A caller's claim challenged on LBC. In a recent segment on LBC, the airwaves crackled with controversy as host James O'Brien found himself embroiled in a heated exchange with a caller. The topic at hand? None other than Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, whose actions have once again become the subject of public scrutiny. The caller, clearly impassioned, levelled a charge that's become increasingly common in today's discourse that the Prince was engaged in virtue signalling. This accusation, aimed at suggesting that Harry's public statements and actions were merely performative displays of moral righteousness, rather than genuine conviction, set the stage for a robust debate. O'Brien, known for his incisive interviewing style, prepared to dissect this claim, promising listeners a thorough examination of what it means to signal virtue in the public eye, and whether such a label fairly applies to the actions of the royal-turned-civilian. Prince Harry, a royal advocate for change. Prince Harry's charitable endeavours have been a cornerstone of his public life, showcasing a genuine commitment to making a positive impact on society. The Duke of Sussex has thrown himself wholeheartedly into a diverse array of causes, from supporting wounded veterans through the Invictus Games to championing mental health awareness with the Heads Together campaign. His hands-on approach and passionate advocacy have brought significant attention to these initiatives, effectively leveraging his royal status to spotlight important issues. Whether he's trekking to the South Pole with Walking with the Wounded or speaking candidly about his own struggles with mental health, Harry's efforts have undeniably raised both awareness and substantial support for the charities and causes close to his heart. The hypocrisy of attacking virtue signalling, a defense of Prince Harry. In recent years, the term virtue signalling has become a popular buzzword in political discourse, often used to criticize individuals who publicly express their moral values or support for social causes. Defined as the conspicuous expression of moral values done primarily with the intent of enhancing standing within a social group, the concept has been particularly applied to public figures like Prince Harry. However, the use of this term has faced significant criticism, with many arguing that it's become a lazy way to dismiss genuine concerns and activism. Critics point out that labeling someone's actions as virtue signalling often says more about the accuser's cynicism than the accused's sincerity, and that it can be used to undermine important conversations about social issues. In the case of Prince Harry, the accusation of virtue signalling seems particularly misplaced, given his consistent track record of advocacy and personal experiences that inform his public stances. James O'Brien challenges the caller's view on Prince Harry's motives. O'Brien, clearly taken aback by the caller's assertion, leans forward in his chair, his brow furrowed in contemplation. "Now, hang on a minute," he interjects, his voice a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. "Let's unpack this, shall we?" He pauses, allowing the weight of the moment to settle before continuing. "You're suggesting that Harry's actions are nothing more than virtue signalling. That's quite a claim." O'Brien's tone shifts, becoming more pointed as he challenges the caller's perspective. "But I wonder, have you considered that perhaps, just perhaps, there might be genuine conviction behind his words and actions?" He lets the question hang in the air, inviting the caller to reconsider their stance. It's easy to dismiss someone's motives, especially when they're in the public eye, but shouldn't we at least entertain the possibility that Harry's intentions are sincere? Royal philanthropy more than just a PR stunt. Prince Harry's charitable endeavours have ignited a firestorm of debate, with some dismissing his efforts as mere virtue signalling. But let's not be too hasty to write off the positive impact that high-profile individuals can have when they throw their weight behind important causes. When someone like Harry champions a charity, it's not just about writing a check. It's about shining a spotlight on issues that might otherwise be overlooked. These public figures, with their enormous platforms, have the power to turn heads and open hearts to social and humanitarian issues that desperately need attention. They're not just opening their wallets, they're opening conversations, challenging perceptions, and inspiring others to get involved. It's easy to be cynical, but we shouldn't underestimate the ripple effect that a royal support can have in the world of philanthropy. Prince Harry's actions, virtue signalling, or genuine concern? Let's delve into the caller's argument, shall we? Now, they've branded Prince Harry's actions as virtue signalling, but we must ask ourselves what's really driving this perspective. Perhaps our caller is viewing Harry's efforts through a lens tinted by skepticism towards public figures and their motivations. It's not uncommon, after all, for people to assume that those in the spotlight are merely putting on a show. But mightn't there be a touch of cynicism at play here? A dash of misunderstanding about the complexities of royal life and the genuine desire to effect change? It's worth considering that our caller's stance might stem from a broader disillusionment with public figures, rather than a clear-eyed assessment of Harry's specific actions and their impact. James O'Brien defends Prince Harry's charitable work. O'Brien, clearly exasperated by the caller's unfounded accusations, launched into a passionate rebuttal. "Hold on a minute," he interjected, his voice tinged with a mix of frustration and determination. "Let's get this straight. You're sitting there telling me that Prince Harry, who's dedicated years of his life to charitable causes, is merely virtue signalling?" He paused, allowing the weight of his words to sink in. "Have you considered the possibility that his actions might actually be genuine? That perhaps, just perhaps, he's using his privileged position to make a real difference in people's lives?" O'Brien's tone softened slightly as he continued. "Look, I'm not asking you to worship the ground he walks on, but let's give credit where it's due. The Invictus Games, his work with mental health charities, these aren't empty gestures. They're tangible, impactful initiatives that have changed lives." His voice rose with conviction as he concluded. "Before we're so quick to dismiss someone's efforts as virtue signalling, maybe we should take a moment to appreciate the actual good being done. Isn't that what really matters in the end?" The hypocrisy of virtue signalling, a royal conundrum. The dust-up over Prince Harry's charitable endeavours has ignited a firestorm in the broader societal debate surrounding virtue signalling and its implications. As the airwaves crackle with heated exchanges between radio hosts and callers, we're forced to confront the thorny question of authenticity in public acts of goodwill. It's a topic that's got everyone from pubgoers to pundits wagging their tongues, dissecting the very nature of altruism in the age of social media. The court of public opinion, it seems, is in perpetual session, weighing the sincerity of every celebrity tweet and raw ribbon cutting with the scrutiny of a jeweler's loop. And as this verbal jousting match plays out on talk shows and Twitter feeds alike, it's shaping our collective perception of charitable efforts, leaving us to wonder, in a world where every good deed is broadcast, can any act of kindness truly escape the shadow of suspicion? The nuanced debate, Prince Harry's actions and public perception. In conclusion, our discussion today has delved into the complex terrain of public perception surrounding Prince Harry's actions and motivations. We've explored the varying viewpoints on whether his behaviour constitutes genuine concern or mere virtue signalling, touching upon the challenges faced by public figures in navigating societal expectations. It's clear that such issues rarely yield simple answers, and our dialogue has highlighted the importance of approaching these topics with nuance and empathy. By engaging in thoughtful discourse and considering multiple perspectives, we can foster a more understanding and less polarised public conversation about the roles and responsibilities of those in the public eye. Navigating controversial conversations, insights from O'Brien's LBC exchange. The exchange between James O'Brien and the caller on LBC offers several valuable lessons in handling contentious discussions. O'Brien's approach demonstrates the importance of maintaining composure and steering the conversation towards factual ground, even when faced with emotionally charged accusations. By calmly questioning the caller's use of the term virtue signalling and requesting specific examples, O'Brien effectively exposed the lack of substance behind the criticism. This interaction highlights the need for critical thinking and the dangers of adopting buzzwords without fully understanding their implications. Moreover, it underscores the challenges of navigating discussions around public figures and controversial topics in today's media landscape, where opinions are often formed based on headlines rather than comprehensive information.